Hours. I'm your host, Dr. Ramon Goings, founder of Done Dissertation, where we work with doctoral students to demystify the dissertation process so that you can write and defend your dissertation in 1 year or less. We've been getting a lot of reach outs from a lot of folks because as of today, our doors are open. We are enrolling new students in the Velocity Group coaching program. And what I want to do in today's video is talk about, is the Velocity Group coaching program right for you? So if you have any questions about our program, this is the video that you can ask your questions so that you have some clarity because we would love to have you. And as always, this particular episode of Done Dissertation Office Hours is sponsored by the Done Dissertation Velocity Group Coaching Program. It is a 4-month coaching experience with the goal to help you write and defend either your dissertation proposal or final dissertation. So if you're someone who is ready to get help, you know you need the support to get through this process, what I want you to do is go to www.velocitydissertation.com to apply for the program. On the page, you can learn more about what we offer in the program, and then you'll be able to apply to work with us. And my team and I will be back in touch with you once you submit your application. So it is so good to see everybody. Today's video, we're coming off of our event that we just held over the last 2 days. So if you all missed out on Design Your Done Dissertation, you missed out on a whole vibe around the dissertation process. And what you all didn't know, for those that didn't grab your tickets, we actually went over 2 days and did trainings. And so a lot of doctors got a lot of clarity, a lot of insight about where they need to go with their dissertation process in their journey. And if you happen to be watching this right now, you're one of those folks who happen to be at the event at Design Your Done Dissertation, let me know in the comments, what was the thing that you got most out of the workshop? I would love to hear from you all. It's good to see, let's see, Layla and Taylor Chick on Instagram. And we got some folks checking in on Facebook and other places. So just let me know where folks are coming from. And again, if some folks have tuned who are watching right now, or you watch this on the replay, you came to Design Your Dissertation, let us know in the comments what was something that you took away from the event. Because look, y'all, folks are getting some transformation. And I remember one of the participants, her word, when we talked about what was our word for the workshop and how we're going to get through, and her word was breakthrough. And I know for a lot of folks during that workshop, they definitely had a lot of breakthroughs. And so if you missed out, y'all, I mean, I'm just sorry, but we're going to have more workshops in 2023, but you definitely missed out on our last workshop in 2022. But what I want to do is with you all today is to talk about the Velocity Group Coaching Program. So for some of you all, you're wondering, well, is this program right for me? Is this the perfect time? And so I want to chat with you all about that, and just so you all can, ask your questions, get some insight and some clarity. But first things first, I do want to shout out, we had our last student, Dr. Monica Gint, defend last week successfully. And so what I wanted to do is give a shout out to all of our Done Dissertation Velocity Group Coaching Program graduates of 2022. And so for those who are watching this on YouTube and other platforms, LinkedIn and Facebook, you'll be able to see this. My Instagram folks, you won't be able to, but I'll make sure we have this posted in the story so you all can see what I'm showing right now. And what you all will see is our graduates. This is what a done dissertation looks like. All these folks have worked with us and finished their dissertation and successfully defended in 2022. So I want you to see that this can most certainly be you. And I'm just so proud of all these folks. And I got to give them all their recognition because this was something that was really impactful, as you all see here. And Taylor Chick says in the comments, she said, my word was forward. I got strategy to move forward. Perfect, Taylor Chick. I'm glad to hear that. And so what I want you all to see is all of our graduates. And actually for Instagram, I'll show you all real quick. I'll take you off my stand so you all can see what other folks are looking at. So these are all of our 2022 graduates right there. And just so I can call them out, because I think it's important not only to show that folks have finished that work with us, but I want to call their names out because they put a lot of work into this thing. And so I want to give them all their due respect. And these are just our folks who have successfully defended their dissertation. This does not include all our folks who have worked with us in 2022 who successfully defended their dissertation proposals and are currently working towards their final defense. So on this picture from left, I'm going to start from the top row, left to right. We have Dr. Tamika Jackson, Dr. Aaron Sorensen, Dr. Darren Thompson, Dr. Ranisha Blache, Dr. Monica Gint. Let's see who we got. Dr. McKenna Lewis, Dr. Isha Price. Now we're on the bottom row. Dr. Karen McIntosh, Dr. Christina Sessions, and lastly, Dr. Brandy Fletcher Daniels. So we have 10 folks right here who have gotten their doctorates done. and they are out of this process. Like, y'all, it doesn't take a long time. It's just a matter of you putting in the consistent effort to get that end result. So show them some love in the comments. Wherever you're watching this, show them some love, because they did put a lot of work in to get to this point. They all have busy professional jobs, trying to navigate the dissertation process, families, etc., and have done what many have not done. And so I wanted to give them some love and some congratulations, because they have done their duty and their due diligence this year by getting the dissertation done. And so with that, I think it's really important as we consider all of this is like, does this make sense for me right now? And for a lot of us, we have just been contemplating, like, will this work for me? What will happen? And I think we have to have a mindset shift. And I want to talk about 4 ideas and 4 types of people that our program works best with. And so this will be helpful for you if you are thinking about, like, I'm considering joining and I want to know more. But first things first, right? The Velocity Group Coaching Program is right for you if, and I say this is an if because this is important and something that you need to consider, if you are someone committed to making your dissertation a priority and willing to put in the work. So what we don't want at Done Dissertation is someone who, hey, I can pay to work with you all and then either expect us to do the writing, because one thing that you all will learn very quickly is that we are not doing any writing for anybody at Done Dissertation. You got to do the writing yourself, but we want to work with people who are committed to doing the work and willing to put in everything they can in order to move this process forward, as Taylor Chick said on Instagram. I think it's really important that we do that. And again, we want folks that we work with to know that, hey, I may not know everything, which is fine. That's what we are here to do, to help guide you. But when I get the strategy, I'm willing to execute. This program is best for executors. Even if you say, I haven't been successful so far in this journey, but I'm willing to turn over a new leaf and execute, this program is right for you. Because I know with our strategies and you're willing to execute, it's an unstoppable pair. But it starts with you being committed first. Like, we can't help anybody who's not committed. And you'd be surprised. We get folks that decide to work with us sometimes and just said, oh, this is the magic pill. And I just want to let you all know that the program is not your magic pill. You got to put in the work. We have the system and structure, and we have the strategy for you. But if you're not willing to put in the work, it will not work for you. And I promise you, if you're not willing to put in the work, the dissertation, 1, will not write itself. And then 2, your committee will be like, well, they're not really serious about it anyway, so why should I care? And that's the flat reality of things, because your faculty probably have so many students on their load, they have to decipher about who's really serious about doing this and who is just playing around. And we definitely, at Velocity, we want people who are not playing around. We want folks who are committed, passionate, and know that they have something to offer to the world, and know that the dissertation is going to change lives, and just willing to get the strategy and support in order to finish. So if that's someone, if you're that somebody, this program is right for you. And I would definitely suggest that you go ahead and submit your application to work with us. The website is www.velocitydissertation.com. And it's really important because, again, we want people who are going to put in the work. And shout out to Asia Jones. I don't know if you're still on Asia. Asia was one of our clients in the May cohort who successfully defended their dissertation in September, their proposal in September. And is working through and finishing up the dissertation. And hopefully we'll hear sometime early 2023. Asia, you have a defense on the horizon. So again, y'all got to put in the work. But if you get the support from us, we definitely will get you to the finish line. Good to see you, Asia. The second piece, right? So you might be thinking, all right, is this program right for me? The second thing I want you all to be willing to consider, is this program right for you? If you're someone that's coachable and you're willing to make a mindset shift in order to learn a new way to navigate the dissertation process. Because this is what I do know. You can't try to go through this process and not be successful and try to use those same habits and strategies in order to get to where you want to get right now. It doesn't work. And that's one of the first things, and what a lot of our clients say when they work with us, one of the first changes they make is not about how strong of a writer they are, or not about anything related to the actual mechanics of the dissertation. They say, first things first, I had to make a whole totally different mindset shift. Like, I had to literally take off the way I was doing things and like, all right, I may have to change this in order to get where I want to get to. I would just say you can't try to get a new result using the same old tricks that never worked. And so we want clients that when they're working with us that are coachable. Because I've had in the past, when we first started Done Dissertation, I would have some clients who, we give them the strategy and suggestion, and then they wouldn't take it, or to be like, well, I know what to do. And then we'd be sitting around and they get frustrated when things didn't go according to plan. And we're like, hey, we gave you the layout. All you had to do was run with it. We were providing and running you along the journey. All you had to do was run with it. And a lot of folks, sometimes think they know it all. And if you're that type of client and that type of person, then this program is not right for you. We need folks who are willing to really take advice and implement. Again, that becomes really important. And I know, and just think about the dissertation generally, if you're not willing to take advice and strategy, even from your chair and committee, this process is going to be real lonely, y'all, because it's just going to be very difficult. And you're going to have a lot of roadblocks and bumps along the way that will make this process very long if you allow it to. So again, we want to work with people who are coachable and recognize that their way hasn't worked. And sometimes you got to come to that conclusion. And if you're wondering, well, am I at that stage yet? I always ask you a couple of things. One, so far in your process, have you doing it the way you wanted to do things gotten you to where you needed to go? If it hasn't, then your way has not been working. It might be time for a change. Second is, like, are you looking around getting frustrated because all of your classmates are defending a dissertation and you're not? And rather than, putting the work in, you just rather sit and sulk and be frustrated. You might probably at that point where you need to get help. Or you're at the point where now it's December 2022. And when you started this thing out, say you came into the semester in September saying, like, I'm about to really go at this thing and I'm about to put the work in. And then you did nothing all semester. And now you're looking and reflecting, thinking about new year, new me. I want the PhD, but now you're like, damn, it's going to be in 2023, probably, because of the way I've approached this process. Now is the time to get help. And shout out to Dr. Varela, who joined for a quick second on Instagram. Good to see you. But again, for a lot of you all, it's really important, and it's time to make a shift. And for a lot of us, we just get stuck and complacent about the way we've always done things. And that is just won't be helpful for you to navigate and move through this process. And so for those who are just tuning in, we are talking about, the Velocity Group Coaching Program. And first things first, I want to go into, is this program right for you? So if you have any questions, please drop them in the comments. So after I finish the couple of things I have to share with you all, I will be glad to address any questions that you all might have about the program or what you're thinking about. And if some of you all know, like, hey, I'm ready to move forward, I need to go ahead and get some support and apply to work with you can go ahead to www.velocitydissertation.com to learn more about our program and apply. And also on the website, you can hear from past clients about their experiences working with us, because it's not only good enough for me to say, I want to show you all social proof that this thing has worked for many clients. And literally, at the top of the episode, I just showed you 10 folks who have finished their doctorate through working with us in 2022 alone. I got way more than that, but I just wanted to show you the folks that have come through and gotten their doctorates in 2022. And again, I don't want you all to go through this journey alone. Get the support that you need. Get help, because a lot of you all have these grand plans for your consulting opportunities, for getting that faculty position, all those things, but they're all predicated on you finishing. So definitely get the support that you need. Tap in with us. Go to www.velocitydissertation.com. And so with that, if you're thinking about, is this program or is a program right for me? Here's another thing I want you to consider as you're moving forward in your journey of exploring what might make best sense. So we're always looking for folks in our program that, who are ready to make a community of like-minded scholars, because you can't go out this process alone. And so our program is in a group format structure, and we do that on purpose. So for many years, I actually did this one-on-one to, prove that we can get folks through one-on-one, and it worked, right? But here's what I found that was lacking in the one-on-one format is that you didn't have a community. So literally all you were as a client is just hoping that your coach can provide you all the information, not knowing that, they may not know everything. And so I find that being in community is so much better. And then here's what I do know, because of you all getting a doctorate, moving around and building, a reputation for yourself is all about your network. So literally what we're allowing you to do is we're cultivating a network of community of like-minded scholars and building this community so that you have contacts and you have representatives. So I'm thinking about our cohort that's going on right now. We have folks at universities across the world. And not only that, we have folks who are vice presidents at universities. We have folks who are faculty at universities. We have people who work in K through 12. We have folks in the nonprofit sector. We have folks in policy. So it's like all these pieces come together. And when you have the right community, it is magical what can happen. And so I found over time that being in the group format actually sped up the process for my clients. And so our program is structured in the group format. And for those of you all thinking, like, I need somebody to handhold me, this is what I do know. You all are trying to become independent scholars. At some point, you got to just let go and say, hey, I'm willing to do something different. And I know I got to be the expert in my field. and sometimes you just got to fly. And so what we do is we teach a lot of our clients on how to take the skills that they have, enhance them, and then learn how to fly solo in terms of as a researcher. Because what will end up happening if you work with us and you implement our strategies, it will get to a point where your committee is like, yo, something changed. What happened? Because I'm even thinking about Vanessa. She was one of our clients in the January 2022 group, and she is a mechanical engineering doctoral student at Purdue. And I remember when she first came in, she had started a little bit slow and hadn't yet made that shift. And then come around February, she's like, all right, I got to really use all these resources and really like tap into what I'm doing. And then literally she ended up writing her proposal, basically the end of January through February, wrote her whole proposal and defended, and actually part of March, and then defended early April. And so it just took that shift for her. And it got to a point where her chair was like, yo, how are you coming back with these chapters so fast? And she recognized through the strategies that we're teaching in our program that, oh, I got to go about this process very differently. But it takes a mindset shift and this idea that she recognized she had a community. So not only was it important for her to do her work herself, but that she can come in and celebrate and say, hey, I made progress on my chapter, or hey, I'm working on this. What do y'all think? So having that community is really important. And a lot of us don't have it, and we're struggling with not having it. So again, if anything resonates with you, let me know in the comments. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments. Again, I will be sure to address them after this presentation. But again, this episode of Done Dissertation Office Hours is sponsored by the Velocity Group Coaching Program. It is a 4-month coaching program with the focus of helping you, the doctoral student, write and defend either your dissertation proposal or your final dissertation in the next 4 months. So if you're interested in learning more about our program, visit www.velocitydissertation.com to apply. Again, it's transformational for folks. I'm just excited for you all to join us. We have new folks join the cohort from our event who said, you know what? I love what you did at the event. I really want to extend this thing further. And so we have a number of folks who are now joining to work with us. And so if you're thinking about, hey, is this right for me? The last thing I want you all to really start thinking about is this idea that, you would benefit from having a guide to help you avoid the mistakes that have kept you stuck. So there are a lot of you all who have just been complacent, not because you don't have the skill set, because you just don't know how to move this thing forward. And you recognize that, hey, I might need an accountability structure and a guide to help me kind of avoid the pitfalls that have just kept me where I am right now. And so if this is you, this program is definitely right for you, because our goal is to ensure that you don't hit those roadblocks. And if you do, because no process is perfect, right? We can't say that this thing goes 100%. You have no issues or qualms throughout your dissertation journey. That's just not the case. That would be a lie if I said that to you. But when those roadblocks happen, now you have somebody who has experience and a group of coaches who have experiences that we can help guide you and say, hey, do this when you're trying to respond because of the particular situation you're in. Or for instance, we had a client whose dissertation chair decided to up and retire and didn't tell them. That became his whole situation. Like, oh, here's how we think you probably should navigate, securing a new chair. Or here are people we think you might want to consider and why. And so all these things become really important as you go along your journey to have somebody to help guide you along the way. And so again, I think this is really important and something that we don't consider until it's too late. We spend a lot of money. We've been frustrated for too long, and we have nothing to show for it from the dissertation process. And I don't want that for you all. So I want you all to get the support. So in terms of our program, though, again, our program structured over 4 months for a couple of reasons, because what I know by helping so many doctoral students, it takes about 4 months to write a proposal. And then particularly if you collected your data, it takes about 4 months to write up your findings chapters and get it approved and defend. I've done this over and over again. We have clients who do it faster than that, but we just know over and over, having worked with clients, that 4 months is a great sweet spot in terms of time. And it requires you, once you come into the program, it's like, hey, I can't play around, because you're going to make an investment in yourself, right? To work with us is a mid-4-figure investment. And so when you're making that type of investment in yourself, for many of our clients, it's their first time investing that amount of money outside of, writing a student loan promissory note. And, for a lot of us, it's like, whoo, this hurts. Like, I don't want to make that investment. But you can't continue to go in at this process the way you have gone about it. And so when folks work with us, once you make that investment, you're like, look, I got to get a return. I got to get out and I need to achieve whatever I came here to do, whether my proposal defense or final defense. So that's why the 4-month piece is critical, because we're going to push you and accelerate you in this process. Because I know it doesn't take long once you get the mindset shift and use our strategies to get through the process. In our program, we definitely have a curriculum that's laid out, and you'll learn more about that if you decide to apply. That helps you from beginning to end. And we have a lot of resources around writing support. So you definitely have that within our program, along with getting ready for your proposal and final defenses. Like, we literally have thought through everything in our program that a doc student would need. Again, we refine this over and over again over the years so that we can perfect it and help doc students get through. So we have thought through everything that you might need to get through this dissertation process. And so with that, I want to invite folks to apply to work with us in the Velocity Group Coaching Program. Again, you can visit www.velocitydissertation.com to apply to work with us. But what I want to do is take any questions folks might have. And I know it's always a delay when I'm giving information when you all catch it. So let me know your comments in the chat. And if you are on Instagram, you want to come on live and ask your question, just make a request, and I'll definitely jump you on here in a few minutes once we get off from YouTube and Facebook and LinkedIn. But any questions do you all have for me? And I'm looking on my screen just to make sure we're good. But again, we want to make sure that you all get the support that you need. Make sure that you get help. There's no need to continue to go through this process hoping that you're going to finish when you can work with someone who has done it and has helped others do it to get through the process. So any questions that folks have for us? Yeah, feel free to ask your questions. Hey, what's going on, Kara? Good to see you. Thank you for everybody tuning in on Instagram. Thank you for folks who have been locked in on YouTube, and where are you coming from? And from Facebook. I appreciate y'all. And thank you so much to all my faculty friends who have, sent their students to the event on Design Your Done Dissertation. I really appreciate you all for, supporting your students to help have them get some support so they can get through this process. All right, I don't see any questions. I'm looking around. I think we're good to go. Well, what I want you all to do is ensure that you apply, get the help that you need to get through this journey, get the support. Definitely go to www.velocitydissertation.com to apply to work in the Velocity Group Coaching Program to get the help that you need. So our goal is to help you whether you're at your proposal phase or final past your proposal defense and you're collecting data or getting ready to finish up your studies to actually help you get to the finish line. So if you need that support and you're ready and you're tired and frustrated of being stuck where you are and know that you have to do something different, then I want you to join us in the Velocity Group Coaching Program. If you're on Instagram, just click the link in our bio to apply to work with us. And lastly, before we wrap up, I just want to leave you all with, again, I want to give a shout out to our 2022 doctors who have come through our program, have successfully defended their full dissertations. And so again, I want to call their names out because they've done exceptional work. And I want to make sure you all know who they are and what they do. So we have first Dr. Tamika Jackson. We have Dr. Aaron Sorensen, Dr. Darren Thompson, Dr. Ranisha Blache, Dr. Monica Gint, let's see who we have next. I'm sorry, I'm looking at my screen and got lost of where I was. We have Dr. And we are just really so proud of them for all the things that they have done. So I had to give them a shout out for all of our graduates in the program. So we are super proud of you all. We always rep our graduates because we think that's important because they have done what a lot of folks have not been able to do. So definitely, if you need support, you need help, you want to get through this process, definitely work with us. Go to www.velocitydissertation.com. And until next week, I hope to see you all soon. I hope you have a great week. Get those finals done for my doc students who are in coursework right now. Or if you're finishing up those exams, go ahead and knock those things out, because I know a lot of you are getting ready to start on your dissertations come January. So this is a great time for those of you all who know I don't want to be in this program forever. You definitely need to join us in our January cohort. So definitely go to www.velocitydissertation.com. All right, y'all. I hope you all have a blessed evening, and we will catch up later. Take care, everybody.